the Sustainability Management Master's Program, you're answering one simple question. Do you care about your future generation? If you care about your kids, their grandkids, then you care about sustainability. And a sustainability manager is someone who has the tools to make people understand how they can contribute towards developing a sustainable world. We have both part-time and full-time students. Our curriculum is 30 hours. Instead of thesis, we have a research project course and a seminar course which provides them with the kind of research background they will need to be successful in their job. But at the same time, sustainability is not always everything about environment. It also relates to the business. They will take a sustainable business strategies course. They will take a project management course. Most of these courses are going to be taught by industry people, the people who are doing sustainability on a daily basis as a part of their job. Any organization that has a large number of employees and has a physical infrastructure, they will have to have a sustainability office. If you have the passion to develop and maintain a sustainable world, come to us and we will help you shape your passion into a career which will create an impact.
And as Professor Sarkar mentioned, I'm an alumni of the Sustainability Management Program. I know what you're going through right now, and I know the sense of achievement you're going to feel when you're done with the program. And I'm always happy to come back to campus, even if it's virtually, to contribute in any way. So thanks for the invitation. Okay, so my name is Amanda Neshawat. I work for the Hudson County Improvement Authority. I started working for the HCIA in May or June of 2020. So I actually got the job in the middle of the height of the pandemic. And for the first couple of months, really worked from home, trying to develop plans the best that I could for the year, for the future of HCIA and for the following year. But then at the end of 2020, I was asked to join the team at the HCIA and the Hudson Regional Health Commission and Hudson County to help distribute COVID vaccinations. So if you were vaccinated at the Juno Center in Kearney, I likely gave you your vaccination card in 2021. So I did that for about 6 months. But now that I've been there for a couple of years, I've settled into the position. I understand the influence of the HCIA. I understand the interests and the needs of our stakeholders. And you'd be really excited to know, as I am, that there's a real interest in sustainability in Hudson County, and it's continuing to grow. So just to give you a snapshot of Hudson County, if you don't know, Hudson County is made up of 12 municipalities. We have a population of a little over 600,000 people. I live in Jersey City and I grew up in Secaucus. So I've actually lived in Hudson County all my life and have always had an interest in the county. It's the fastest growing county in the state of New Jersey. And I think it really packs a punch in terms of its leadership and its economic capabilities. So I've always been interested in doing what I can in Hudson County to be a leader and signal that for the rest of the state. So a little bit about the HCIA. We are an autonomous public agency. So we're not Hudson County. We work alongside Hudson County, and I think that'll become more clear when I show you some of the projects that we are working on. The HCIA has broad responsibilities in the county, including solid waste and recycling management, some of which I work on and I'll talk more about, financing for public and private initiatives, redevelopment projects, transportation management, recreation services, alternative energy initiatives, and environmental education. The building that you see in the background of the rendering of this building that you see in this slide is actually the future Justice Complex that HCIA helped to finance and is helping to be one of the project managers on this project. It's actually being built in Journal Square. I'm not sure if you've seen it. It's coming up pretty fast. It's going to be done by the end of 2024. It is expected to be LEED silver, but they're still working on making it a LEED gold building. It's going to have 14 charging stations for workplace charging, electric vehicles, but also for visitors. It has a green roof, which is very exciting to us, to bring greenery in a very urban area where it's needed. And it's also going to be running on electric, so it's not going to have gas, which really does help to reduce its carbon footprint and use of fossil fuels. So this is sort of a present but also future project that the HCIA is working on with Hudson County. Another project that you may have seen is the Hudson County High Tech School in Secaucus, the Frank Gargiulo campus. This project actually is a LEED Gold building, which is really exciting. They have features like water efficient landscaping, geothermal heating, green roof, and even wind turbines. This is a really beautiful campus, a very green school. They have a sustainability track at the high school, which is very exciting. And they are working right now on improving their recycling and working with my department to reduce food waste and to ensure food waste recycling. So we actually gave them a grant to do proper educational campaign throughout the campus, but also to do a drop-off service for their food waste. Since they've started the program, I think 6-7 months ago, they've collected tens of thousands of pounds of food waste that's now being diverted from landfills, which is going to basically save the school money. But we're hoping that in 9 months, we can really use this school as an example to other schools throughout Hudson County to do the same thing. There's a lot of excitement, by the way, in schools around food waste. So this is kind of a pilot project that we can hope could we can scale throughout the county. They also have something really cool at this school that we don't see in other schools throughout the county, which is they have a room in their kitchen that to clean silverware and plates from students, further reducing the waste that comes out of the school. So again, it's just something that, you know, we can point to and get other schools to take notice of and look at the economics of it, because it actually is saving them money in the long run. So that's pretty exciting. And another project that was done well before I, my time at the HCIA is the Skyway Golf Course. It's a really cool past project. It's a reclaimed landfill. It was a super fun site in Jersey City. It was called the PGP landfill, and it actually accepted a lot of industrial chemicals in drums. And it was considered a super fun site that the county really wanted to clean up. And luckily the state also was very interested in doing that. So the HCIA and Hudson County received funding to basically remediate this space. They brought in over 1 million cubic yards of clean fill material. They did some dredging along the waterways around the golf course, which had a lot of contamination in it. And they also planted a lot of native plants. So now it is a beautiful golf course. I recommend you go check it out. It's actually pretty affordable in terms of, in comparison to all the other golf courses that are around. So if you get the chance, check it out. It's a really cool project, and I know the HCI is really proud of it. Okay, so a little bit about what I do. I am the Deputy Director of Sustainability and Community Outreach. Previous to my role, there was a woman that was in my role named Mary Ellen Gilpin, and she was ahead of her time, an amazing person, really took charge on the educational aspect of reducing litter and getting the word out about recycling, and developing a lot of the programs that I'm going to be talking about today are recycling and collection programs. So Mary Ellen decided to retire, and when I took her position, I asked if I could take the job a little bit more in a different way and include sustainability, because I really was very interested in sustainability, fleet electrification, energy efficiency projects, and luckily the HCIA thought it was actually a good direction. So I guess it's sort of a new position. The one thing that I wanted to do when I stepped into this role is to develop sustainability goals and really figure out what the interests in the county really are, and what the HCI was thinking, ahead for the next couple of years in terms of sustainability. And thankfully, they were very interested in electric vehicles, which at the time I was learning more about. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about what I'm doing on that front shortly. I'm also responsible for improving recycling rates as the county recycling coordinator. That means that I was trained by a program at Rutgers to be a certified recycling professional. It's a program that you can take if you're interested in doing it. Every single municipality in the state of New Jersey has to have a CRP on staff, and every county has one to basically help and inform and assist municipal county recycling coordinators. So I work with all 12 coordinators in Hudson County. We don't have a very good recycling rate in Hudson County. I won't say that it's, the worst, but I think it's one of the worst in Hudson County of all 21 counties. So we are developing more rigorous programs, more compliance and enforcement programs, which I'll talk more about shortly. And I think we are beginning to really improve. We do a lot of education and outreach, not just to residents, but also to schools. And I'm going to talk some more about some of the projects that we have going on. I'm also the Clean Communities Coordinator. That's also a program that you can get certified in after taking a training with New Jersey Clean Communities. It's a great program. It's available to municipal employees and county employees. And I'm required every year to send a report to the state of New Jersey on the cleanups and litter abatement programs that we take part in. So we actually have a program, a mini grant program that is funded by New Jersey Clean Communities to help schools and organizations and municipalities do cleanups. And we also offer assistance for cleanups as well. So if you're part of you are a school. So if you want to do a cleanup anywhere in Hoboken or anywhere in Hudson County, you can just reach out to us. We give assistance on the best and safest way to do the cleanup. We give things like pickup sticks and gloves, and also a mini grant to help you to get the materials that you might need to run a successful cleanup. We have a hazardous waste collection event that we do multiple times a year, at least 4 times a year, where you can bring all those weird things in your attic or your basement that you don't know what to get rid of. If it's a propane tank, fire extinguishers, old thermometers, oil-based paint, anything like that, that you don't really know how to get rid of it, and it doesn't go in your recycling bin or in your trash bin, you can bring it to our collection events. We also have a shredding collection event for folks that have, sensitive documents that they don't want to throw in the recycling bin. We make sure that that material is safely collected and shredded and brought to a facility that can accept shredded paper. You're not supposed to put shredded paper in your recycling bin. Most MRFs or material recovery facilities cannot accept shredded material. So we bring it to someone that can actually collect shredded paper and properly recycle it. I have some numbers based on this from last year to get you to understand the scale of how many people participate in these programs in Hudson County. And then we have an e-waste collection program, which we do simultaneously with some of our shredding collection events in some municipalities. You can check our website to see if your municipality participates, but every single town in Hudson County offers free electronic waste collection. And that's by law. We have to provide safe and accessible ways of, consumers to recycle electronic waste. The reason why this is so important is right now, nationally, we're only recycling 6 to 7% of consumer electronics. And when we are looking at the future, and right now, actually the present of the development of batteries for electric vehicles, it is critically important that we contain these metals that are in our electronic waste, like cobalt, for instance, to retain it within the United States so that we can develop our own batteries and our own industry here instead of, off sourcing it the way that we are a lot of our electronics. So participating in electronic waste programs is helping the future of the country take hold of, our battery creation, essentially. Um, we also assist communities in Hudson County with sustainability programs. So if you are a municipal official, a recycling coordinator, a clean communities coordinator, a sustainability officer, my office can help you with sustainability programs, and not only collaborate on programs that the county can help with, but if we can't help, we can absolutely figure out who can help and connect you to those partners and to our own stakeholders that can assist with projects. So just to give you sort of a snapshot here of some of the numbers that we collect with recycling. For electronic waste collection, just in 2022 in Hudson County, we collected 525,000 pounds of e-waste. For recycling, we've collected in 2020 in Hudson County, 870,000 tons of recyclables. And that's not just residential recycling. That's not just the bottles and cans that you throw out in your paper and cardboard. It's also things like wood scraps and concrete and brick and asphalt and tires and heavy things like that that we recycle in Hudson County. Beyond residential, this is also commercial and industrial, which we have a lot in Hudson County. The numbers here are from 2020. These are the latest certified numbers from the state of New Jersey. So there's usually a couple of years that it takes to really get through all the numbers and make sure that everybody that's collected materials and all the tonnage is included in this number. So it's a pretty big number, and I'm told we are going to see an uptick in the number of tons for 2021, which is very exciting because that means we've increased our numbers. For food waste recycling, which is on the rise in Hudson County, Community Compost Company, which is a woman-owned composting company that services most of Hudson County's food waste programs, I'd say, local food waste programs, diverted 686,000 pounds of food waste from landfills in 2022, just last year. And Green Bucket, which is a newer composting company that's servicing Hudson County, I think they're based in Hudson County as well, diverted 9,000 pounds in 2022. So as these communities continue to, dabble with and pilot food waste programs, that number is going to continue to grow, which is pretty exciting. We have a mini grant program that helps to pay for 6 months of a pilot program for your municipality or your school. So if you wanted to sort of take the risk and the stress off of trying something that's so new, like food waste collection, and really figuring out what would work best for your community, whether it be a drop-off program, whether it be a curbside collection program, we want to take that stress away from you and your municipal officials and just give you the funding for 6 months to try it out, to see the numbers, to see if you can afford it, and to see how you can scale it. And it's working, and it's been a really successful program. We've had a couple of communities partake in the program, and we're continuing to see it grow. So, okay, so we have a lot of educational programs. Last year was one of the biggest campaigns that we had to do because of the plastic bag ban that we experienced in May of 2022, which we were very excited about, and it made us very busy as county recycling coordinators because we were charged with not only preparing the public, but also preparing businesses in our community. So part of the plastic bag ban was to limit the use of straws, to only give out straws if consumers ask for one. And so this is just an example of a campaign that we did where we did in multiple languages, put these flyers out on bus stops, on the sides of buses, on digital boards and path train digital boards. We just wanted to get the word out there as best as we can. We worked with special improvement districts to get the word out to small businesses. The New Jersey Business Association did a phenomenal job getting the word out to businesses as well. They had a hotline you can call in multiple languages, which was fantastic, that many businesses in Hudson County benefited from. So this is just sort of an example here. And as Dr. Sarkar mentioned, I am on the Plastic Advisory Council. I was appointed by Governor Murphy to basically fulfill one of the statutes in the law, which is to create a 1 year out after the ban, create a list of recommendations essentially on how to improve plastic reduction. And so we're actually almost done with that report. Actually, we're finishing it up today, our comments and recommendations. But one of the things that we've noticed, and I know that you've probably seen it in the news, is that with the plastic bag ban, we were very quick to give out reusable bags. I think in Hudson County alone, we gave out around more than 10,000 reusable bags at our events. So reusable bags are starting to pile up in people's homes, and they're looking to figure out what to do with them, to recycle them or to donate them. You can't recycle reusable bags in curbside recycling programs in New Jersey, so don't do that. But now you can donate them. So Hudson County is the first county partnering with New Jersey Clean Communities and New Jersey Food Council and GoTote, which is a business that's already operating in Hudson County, and I could talk more about that later. But it's a program where you can bring your reusable bags that are gently used or new to our shredding collection events that we already have in Hudson County for the spring. We have, I think, about 8 or 9 that's taking place from March until the beginning of June. And we will take those bags, we will sanitize them with GoTote, and they will distribute them to food banks and food pantries that need it for food distribution programs. So it's just a great way to give back, and it's a great way to reuse. And it's actually one of our first opportunities in Hudson County and across the state, I think, to do a reuse kind of program. So it's very exciting. And that's going to start March 18th at our first shredding event. So what we also are doing is trying to figure out what to do to improve recycling programs and educational programs and compliance programs in Hudson County. One of the things that we can do, that we are doing now, is offering training to staff, to custodial staff, to managers of a business or a school on how to best recycle. There's a lot of misinformation out there about recycling. You know, sometimes we hear things like, oh, I thought that, you know, the recycling facility goes through our trash bins and collects the material, you know, recycling materials out. No, we have a source separation law in the state of New Jersey. It was ahead of its time, that was passed in the 70s, that said that all the recycling materials must be separated from trash, right? So we try to provide as much information to staff, especially to custodial staff in schools and in municipal buildings, to best recycle. We also assist with collection strategy. So if you're a new business, if you are a school that is going to purchase new recycling bins, we will come to you and we will help you with your collection strategy to do it the best that you possibly can. We also have stickers that we place on the side of trash bins and recycling bins. For some students, or for some schools, I should say, they don't have enough funding to be able to buy a whole new set of recycling bins. So we try to make it really easy for stickers. You can slap it on a bucket or a bin and it becomes a recycling bin. So it's pretty clear for students to put bottles and cans in one bin and to put paper in another, or if it's a single stream collection, that you have single stream stickers on bins. Signage is very, very important. So we also have posters that you can put in hallways of schools or of multi-unit dwellings and apartment buildings. Signage is very important for those folks as well. And we have it in different languages as well. We also have education for recycling basics for students. Of course, the kids are the future of Hudson County, and in most cases, they care the most, honestly. We have recycling 101 programs and also composting programs for schools K through 12. And it's doing really well. We do a couple of presentations every week. We have one person that's dedicated to doing these presentations. Right now, we are working on sort of a pilot that we might do with Hudson County 4-H, one of our partners, to do a climate change educational program to help assist teachers throughout Hudson County that are now tasked with teaching climate change, because New Jersey passed a law that says that climate change now needs to be in the curriculum, and we want to help teachers do that to make it as easy of a transition as possible. We also do a lot of education and campaigning around Recycle Coach. To download the app. Recycle Coach is a great app. It's free. It is updated across Hudson County for all the different disposal instructions for your specific municipality. It's a program that you can type in any kind of recyclable material that you're trying to, or non-recyclable material that you're trying to dispose of, and it gives you the instructions on how to get rid of it or whether or not you should recycle it. So please download the app. If you're interested in any of our hazardous waste or e-waste or shredding collection programs, we do push notifications through the app, so you'll never miss a collection event. Okay, so one of the exciting projects that I get to work on is our electric vehicle master plan. So this actually was a charge that was given to us by the county executives and county administrators office. So they received a lot of interest and emails from residents saying, hey, I bought an electric vehicle and I really want a charging station near me, and there aren't any that are accessible. So, and this is actually what a lot of local governments and county governments are experiencing across the country. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. But to come back to the master plan, the first phase is to figure out what cars in our fleet we should electrify first. So we're looking at our fleet inventory. HCIA has about 60 vehicles or so, and Hudson County has over 600 vehicles. So we are looking to see sort of the low-hanging fruit, figuring out what cars we can electrify first. And county planning has already finished where to place charging infrastructure on county property based off of our fleet inventory and based off of the locations where the most of our fleet are parked overnight. So the next step really is to put together this phase one and, talk to all of the stakeholders, the different departments of, those that are managing fleets for Hudson County, and then talk to PSA&G to see if there's capacity or if we can put capacity in those areas for charging infrastructure. So that's almost done, which is pretty exciting. And then phase two is to help create a charging network throughout Hudson County. So the really great thing about our county administrator's office is that he totally sees that, it's really important for us to create a cohesive, collaborative plan for Hudson County for charging infrastructure, because it's not just for residents, of course. We're talking about pretty huge fleets that exist in Hudson County. We have UPS, we have USPS, we have huge fleets that are in Hudson County. So we should all be working together. And we are hopefully going to start soon creating a stakeholder committee to get everyone on board, the public and private sector, of course, to figure out sort of a heat map of where we should place charging stations, what are priority locations in Hudson County, and really look at demographics, DMV data, census data, and workplace. Where are people, parking during the day where it's very viable to just plug some, cars in throughout the 6 to 8 hours that you're working in an office building. So, and I think that workplace charging is actually an interest at the state level. There's funding at the state level for these kind of programs, as well as the federal level. Really, the idea behind this master plan is that, when we're completed, we are basically on the front of the line for all the funding that's going to become available, that's already online now, for slowly coming online now from the Inflation Reduction Act, which I'm going to talk about in a second. Just to give you an idea of, and this is numbers for 2022 from the New Jersey DEP, 91,515 plug-in vehicles exist or registered in New Jersey. By plug-in vehicles, I don't just mean complete battery vehicles. I also mean hybrid vehicles. So I have a hybrid vehicle that runs on a battery that I can plug in, as well as gas. And those numbers are not just for residential, it's also for fleet. So there's a huge need. 91,000 vehicles are on the road right now in New Jersey, which is exciting. 4,500 of those vehicles are electric vehicles in Hudson County. So I said I'd talk a little bit about the Inflation Reduction Act. I teach climate change in society at Ramapo College, and I find that young people are really interested in how these huge federal bills are trickling down to state, local, and county government. And to be honest with you, when I was at the Washington, D.C. a couple of weeks ago, actually with a delegation from New Jersey, and I'll explain what I did there. But there was somebody from the DOT that said, basically, it's like drinking out of a fire hose. There's all this excitement, funding, money, interest happening around clean transportation, electrification, and it's slowly, and it's actually drinking like a fire hose out of a fire hose for me as well, because it's just new programs coming out every single day and week, and I want to keep track of everything however I can. What's happening is that they're building out departments within the Department of Energy, especially to be able to communicate with local governments about the funding and how to use it, with a real interest in environmental justice and focusing on overburdened communities, of which there are many in Hudson County. So we would be a recipient of a lot of the funding, the $400 billion that's going to come online, specifically for basically reducing carbon, for carbon reduction strategies and for environmental protection. So the Inflation Reduction Act passed, and this memorandum of understanding was signed by 4 federal agencies that are really sort of tied to infrastructure and transportation and transportation infrastructure. So HUD, the DOT, the DOE, and the EPA are right now working together on building up their offices. There's positions available in all of these agencies right now, actually. If you sign up for the Clean Energy Corps, CORPS, that's launched by the Secretary of Energy, Secretary Jennifer Graham, I think is her last name. You can sign up to receive notifications of webinars of things that are happening in the DOE and positions that are coming online. So if you are interested in working on connecting communities to this funding and to implementation projects of all this funding that's coming online, please do sign up for Clean Energy Corps.
It's Jennifer Granholm.
Thank you. I don't know why I blanked on that. Thank you, Dibs. Okay, so I was in Washington, D.C. a couple of weeks ago with the New Jersey Clean Cities Coalition. This is a coalition that there's only one in New Jersey, but there's 75 across the country. It's a coalition that is funded by, it's under the Department of Energy, under their Vehicle Transition Office. It was an office that was started after a bill was passed, I think in 1992, that was passed by the government to explore alternative fuels. And they focused a lot on vehicles during the implementation of this act. And so that's where Clean Cities came from. So the DOE basically funds a lot of the Clean Cities Coalition programs. And they do really great work doing clean transportation. So if your school wants an electric school bus, or if Hudson County wants to electrify their fleet, they're a great resource to to work with you on and to connect you to resources and funding to do those kinds of projects. So we actually were in Washington, D.C. with 75 different Clean Cities coalitions across the country to speak to our congressional offices in New Jersey, or in the district of whatever you're from, to talk about the importance of continuing to support Clean Cities Coalition, because communities really need assistance figuring out and navigating all of the different things and implementation programs that they're going to need to do. And it's a huge task, it's a huge charge, and Clean Cities Coalition is sort of there to help. I think maybe you've heard from Chuck Feinberg, who's the gentleman in the middle. He's the director of New Jersey Clean Cities. But a lot of the data that you see that I've actually presented actually comes from the work of Clean Cities as well.
So Amanda, like Mike Francis is part of the board of directors as well. Looks like I saw him. Yeah, next to Jennifer. Caroline. Isn't that Mike Francis?
That's Pete Morano. He works with South
okay.
Jersey Natural Gas, and he's working right now on getting his fleet to use renewable natural gas, which is pretty exciting.
That's great. So these are the board of directors of Clean Cities Coalition, right?
Yeah,
And
some of them, right?
them.
Yeah. So I forgot to mention I'm a board member. I'm a new board member. I've been there for about 4 months or so, and it's been really exciting so far.
Yeah, they do good work.
Yeah, very cool stuff. And with all this excitement on clean transportation, they're getting really busy. So you might see them in your neighborhood. I'm not sure. So I talked a little bit about how important it is for us to do educational programs. I want to mention briefly a youth program that we just started. We are doing in collaboration with Hudson County 4-H. It's our Sustainability Ambassadors program. And we basically we got a program developed to get 25 high school students throughout Hudson County to go through a 9-month program with us, with Hudson County 4-H and HCIA, to learn all about the Sustainable Development Goals and climate change, organic gardening and composting, and also civic action. So that at the end of it, we give them a certificate, some resources, connect them to other folks that are interested in sustainability in Hudson County, and send them off to do the amazing ambassadors work that they'll do in their communities. It's just a way of supporting young people in Hudson County who are interested in sustainability. We did not expect that we'd get a huge amount of applicants. We got over 80 students that applied from all over Hudson County, which is amazing. And they're about to be told, if not today, maybe tomorrow, that they've been chosen, because we just went through the process yesterday of, choosing the students. And I have to say, it was very difficult. We spent hours going through these applications because there's so much interest from high school students. And, now that you're in, graduate school, it's so important to give back in your community and reach out to those high school students, because they do need mentorship. They do need to know that their voice counts, and that there's a lot of opportunities. 10 years ago, when I started in local government, we didn't even really want to use the word sustainability in government. It's the reason why my title was environmental coordinator when I worked for the town of Secaucus previous to working for HCIA. So it's a really exciting time. And I think that we really have a responsibility as folks who are interested in sustainability to mentor young people. And it's something that I really, I enjoy doing myself. I want to briefly also mention our Hudson County microgrid, which is an exciting project that has been in the works for years, since back when I started working in Secaucus. I think you know what a microgrid is, but it's a measure for resiliency to help power up critical facilities, or keep critical facilities powered in the event of another, perhaps Hurricane Sandy. We know that extreme weather events are going to be more frequent, and we definitely want to be prepared for that. So actually, Hoboken has their own microgrid project that I think they're already in the design phase for, but Hudson County is working on one. Many of the critical facilities we are working on are in the town of Secaucus. All of them actually are in the town of Secaucus. We have a lot of county buildings in the town of Secaucus. We are also doing this with a public-private partnership. So I don't know how many more details I can give, but we do have we have a corporation that is working with us on the microgrid, because they see the importance of being connected to a microgrid to be more resilient as a company. And as we know, a lot of corporations, their shareholders are demanding that businesses focus on resiliency, and it's a better investment. We know it's a better investment in companies that focus on resiliency. So we already have completed the feasibility study. That's online. It's public information if you want to go see that, and all the facilities that are included, and the feasibility study that we did. But we actually received some funding recently, even some more funding most recently, to do the design phase of the project. So hopefully we'll get to see that come alive soon. And I just wanted to end on the future, which is really now we're working on projects, for instance, the the electric vehicle master plan that's really going to inform a lot of the development and infrastructure that's going to take place in the near future in Hudson County. But, focusing on sustainability now really is a way of signaling to the community that we care about our future. I always say that elected officials that focus on climate change and understand sustainability, that it's perceived by the public as an investment in the future. And I think that's what we're doing at the HCIA. I would like to see some things I would like to see, and hopefully we'll get to work on, is a climate action plan. I always say that if governments, if you're, mayor or elected official says that they care about climate change, that really they should be backing that promise and with a climate action plan, because a climate action plan informs all departments on what to do for the next 3 to 5 years and creates goals, which is super important. So I'm hoping that that's something that HCIA can work on with Hudson County. Food waste is something that a lot of municipalities are working on. North Bergen, Jersey City, Secaucus, Hoboken, Union City, they're all interested in food waste, and residents are interested in food waste and different types. Composting locally in community gardens is taking off, as well as figuring out food waste collection curbside is taking off. So I really would like for Hudson County to figure out the best way to work with municipalities on food waste, because it is over 30% of what we throw out. And right now we are sending our trash to a landfill. No trash in Hudson County gets incinerated, which I guess is a good thing. But it's got a really high carbon footprint, and it's one of the biggest expenses for cities and communities across the state of New Jersey to send trash to a landfill. So let's try and reduce it and figure out what to do with it. Food waste collection also is going to help us see a rise in hopefully renewable natural gas. This is the decaying material that we could take. It's methane, right? Basically. So, and we can use that for clean transportation, because I really do see a future of not just electrification, but all different types, green hydrogen cars, which are already on the West Coast that we'd like to bring to the East Coast, and renewable energy, and cars that run off natural gas. So, and also I want to mention the EV charging infrastructure project, because, as we develop this program, we're also looking for the funding and keeping in mind the vehicles that we'd like to transition, even medium to heavy duty vehicles that we have on our fleet in Hudson County, to be able to switch those to electric. So, that's going to be the future. Hopefully that'll be in the next couple of years. You'll see our vans and buses in Hudson County be electric. But, and really, like I said, it all started with emails and interest from the public. So continue to keep communication with your local community, your local, environmental commission, or even the county itself. It's important at this time to figure out ways to collaborate rather than point the finger and blame, or rather than, put, all of the responsibility on the public sector, because we're not going to be able to do it alone. It's really going to be a collaboration with everyone, with Stevens Institute, with, municipalities, with our congressional offices, and with our state government and county government to pull all of these huge projects and infrastructure projects off. And I just wanted to finally give you my contact information. That's my email address. If you have any questions beyond this, or if you think of anything or you have any suggestions, please do reach out to me.